Last week, California Governor Gavin Newsom said that he thinks that trans athletes competing in girls' and women's sports was deeply unfair. Now, I want to hear what you say, because
Yeah, it's true. The ladies of The View think California Governor Gavin Newsom is too conservative. Why? Why? Because in his opinion, men should not participate in sports that are traditionally reserved for women. Oh my goodness. I have a quick question for the ladies of The View. How far are you willing to go? For the reason that you are currently plummeting headfirst into the blazing abysses of hallucination.
Trans athletes competing in girls' and women's sports was deeply unfair. Now, I want to hear what you say, because
Yes, I think it would be a good idea to seek the advice of Dylan Mulvaney, a sports scientist and professional athlete, since it's obvious that a TikTok influencer with a brand deal for every event is the most qualified person to offer their opinion. Whoopi, guide me through this. What's happening? Do you understand? No? That's okay. Neither do the rest of us. Maybe it's just part of your own transition into full-time professional bewilderment.
Well,
I'll tell you what I think, too. Yeah.
The last time I played a sport, I was 6 years old, and I was on a soccer team, but I assigned myself as the nurse. So I sat with the Band-Aids. And so, in the words of Wicked, I am not that girl.
Yeah, he's not that girl. I mean, honestly, why is Dylan Mulvaney being asked about fairness in sports? What does he genuinely know about it? Meanwhile, actual female athletes are out here getting their dreams crushed, literally. But hey, I'll give Dylan one thing. He's got the View panel down to a T. He knows precisely what you want to hear, and he's giving it with a flawlessly polished smile.
But a dear friend of mine, Skylar, he is a trans athlete. His handle's Pink Manoray. That's someone who I really look to for guidance. And I think that is what's tricky is like.
I think what's tough here, Dylan, is that you've really hit on an issue that no one seems to be talking about. All the women transitioning to guys and dominating male sports. Oh wait, that's not happening, is it? Nope, exactly the opposite way around. But let's just pretend the true issue here is how unfair it is for trans men in men's sports, since that makes 100% sense.
Now stepping in this identity, I'm still like a baby trans. You know, I've only 3 years in. Tomorrow's my anniversary.
Your friend was
Thank you.
Well, well, congratulations to Dylan Mulvaney. 3 years of womanhood, and look at everything he's accomplished. Met. The president, featured in Bud Light commercials, raked in millions, become a global sensation. Meanwhile, actual women are still striving to be taken seriously. Ladies of The View, take notes, because evidently this is how you woman.
Friend went from female to male and is competing with other males.
Correct.
No.
Yes.
Her friend.
Her friend went from female to male and is competing with other males.
So Gavin doesn't have a problem with that.
Oh, so Gavin doesn't have a problem with that? Let me get this straight. God, Sonny Hostin. So passive-aggressive. I used to believe she wasn't so horrible, but now she's at the bottom of my list. Actually, no, it's a dead tie between her, Ana Navarro, Joy Behar, and that other one. You know, the forgettable blonde. But returning to Gavin, of course he doesn't have a problem. Gavin Newsom doesn't have an issue with anything because he has no morals. He's a political chameleon, changing colors dependent on whatever keeps him in power. But right now, his current act is claiming to care about guys competing against women because, shockingly, that's something even he can't spin.
I think part of the problem that the trans community is facing, and it's the same problem that women face, is if you don't know anything about our bodies, you don't know how it works. So when you come in and you say, oh, you know, these are men, these are men, competing against women. You're assuming that the women are weak and just can't do anything yourself.
No, well, see, Whoopi, part of the challenge the trans community is facing, much like women, is that no one seems to comprehend their bodies. But when people point out that these are guys competing against women, suddenly we're assuming women are weak. Whoopi, come on, I've had it. 3 months from today, you and me, one-on-one basketball, your turf, your rules. We'll do it in the Elliott Chelsea housing complex where you grew up, in the terrible Manhattan July heat. Everything will be against me, except of course the biological edge. So, what's the issue, Whoopi? Afraid you might lose?
Have you seen female athletes? They know what they're doing.
Yeah, so that's Dylan Mulvaney's reaction. Nobody's clapping, not even a sad clap. Call me crazy, but isn't that a sign? When even the hand-selected, hot, cocoa-bribed audience, members can't bring themselves to cheer, when even Dylan seems uncomfortable, maybe, just maybe, the View has officially jumped the shark.
So I'm not sure what's going on or why this is an issue. The same for me as when people say, oh, you know, I don't know how I feel about you. You do. God doesn't make mistakes.
No.
Well, there you go. God don't make errors, right? So, I think everything goes then. No right, no wrong, no rules, no standards, just pure, unvarnished anarchy. Because if God makes no mistakes, then literally every decision is valid. Who needs logic when we can just fall into catastrophic societal collapse?
And the challenge is not to the trans people, it's to the people who are not trans. That's what God is looking to see, how you treat people.
Yeah.
That's what is happening. So I was just curious as to what I liked your answer.
Thank you.
I liked your answer.
I'll be honest, I didn't really get that. But hey, the View crowd of pinball geniuses sure appeared. 2, or maybe they were just distracted by the smell of fresh sandwiches being carted in for the intermission. Either way, I'm sure it made sense to someone, somewhere.
Living as a woman doesn't make you a woman.
I trust people to be an expert in their own gender. If someone has been living as a woman for 15 years...
What does that mean, living as a woman?
Well, it means what I've said.
Well, what does it mean? What does it mean to live as a woman?
One of being a girl, and I have already cried 3 times. I wrote a scathing email that I did not send. I ordered dresses online that I couldn't afford. And then when someone asked me how I was, I said, I'm fine, when I wasn't fine.
I don't really know how I can answer the question again. If a trans woman
You wear dresses, you read certain books, you like something, what does it mean?
Being a woman, I am at the Rose Bowl flea market with my best friend, and we are wearing matching dresses, and I'm here to buy some femme gorge lady clothes.
Not every woman lives wearing a dress. Not every woman wears makeup.
No, indeed, and that's a much larger question about kind of gender discourse and feminism more widely. But my point is that if someone is a woman, has lived as a woman for many years, needs support because they've experienced misogynistic abuse, I want them to be able to access that support. It's as simple.
Yeah. What does transgenderism in public look like to you?
It's allowing men to be treated for the purposes of the law as women. It's men taking 900 sports trophies from women in recent years.
And they didn't take 900.
They took 900. There's a report just came out from the United Nations, actually. 890 trophies and medals across 600 women who were competitors, across 29 different sports and 400 competitions. That came out like yesterday.
And they deserved them.
Joy was a talking hemorrhoid in an auburn wig. She was so ungracious and awful, and she had a comedy writer writing her little line, and she said to me during the break, I'll handle the comedy here.
No
And
way.
I said, great, whenever you start, like, I'll ease up on the joke.
Need the city to protect me because the federal government won't. And if you think you're afraid of Trump, you should see how afraid of Trump I am.
Can you wrap up, please?
Yes.
Leave just yet. There's a fantastic outro video coming next. While you're here, slam that like button, subscribe, and let the almighty algorithm know what a wild journey you've had today.